Hey nerds, we're going to talk today about one of my favorite comics of all time. We are talking Planetary from Wildstorm Comics. This comic came out a while ago, but this is one of the strangest, most obscenely funny and adventurous stories you will ever read. I absolutely adore this book. Think of it as a like X-Files meets Indiana Jones. It's an completely insane, espresso-fueled writing accomplishment by Warren Ellis, one of my favorite writers, and I definitely think you guys are going to check it out. I hope you stick around for my review and some of my favorite moments from Planetary. So Planetary starts with a team of superhero inspired archaeologists. The three main characters are Elijah Snow, Jakita Wagner, and the drummer. So what I like most about this series is that every issue reads like a movie. Every single one is a self-contained story from beginning to end. Even though there is a narrative throughout the entire series, you can read each individual issue on its own and enjoy it. It kind of takes place in the 20th century, but there's a lot of time hopping in this also. And these archaeologists go around the world searching and finding all these secrets. The only difference is that they are not going to be going through ancient Egyptian pyramids and Mayan caves. They're actually going through the pop culture history of the 20th century. So think of like Monster Island from Godzilla actually being a place on Earth, and them going there and discovering like what may or may not have, caused there to be giant kaiju monsters, or going to Japan and fighting ghost detectives. There's even like twisted versions of pulp classic heroes like Doc Savage, and even more modern heroes like the Fantastic Four. And they go up against these guys, and it's always hardcore battles. It's part mystery, part conspiracy, and tons of holy crap, did they just really do that moments. There is an overarching story that has this broad conspiracy, and you start to realize what the master plan is for all these different characters in this book, and it's really, really interesting as the story goes on. Warren Ellis will take everything that we love about comics, sci-fi, mystery, all the different genres in this crazy, epic, genre-bending experience. His writing is phenomenal. The dialogue is absolutely entertaining. He will keep you entertained throughout the entire story, I assure you. And John Cassaday's art is crisp, clean, and cinematic. It's definitely the best of his career, in my opinion. I love every issue. He tells the story throughout, so it's one defined narrative with the writer and the artist being the creative team throughout the entire story, and that just adds like a sense of ownership to it that I really, really adore. And the characters are crazy. The main character and the leader of the trio is Elijah Snow. He's what's called a century baby. He's born on January 1st, 1900, and there's a group of what's called century babies in this story, in this narrative, where they have a special tie to that century's, time in history and pop culture, and whatever is going on in that time frame, they are kind of tied to how the world works. When you meet him in the story, he doesn't have his memory. He's not sure who he is. He has his amazing frozen cold powers that he uses. And as the story progresses, you find out more about him and more about how he's tied into the nemesis of the story, what's called the Four, which is an allegory for the Fantastic Four, who are actually a big villain group in this series. Spoiler alert. I should have said spoiler alert before the spoiler, but sorry, I'm new at this. One of my favorite moments is he actually goes up against Dracula, who is a piece of garbage, obviously. And this version of Dracula, he's not so good to women, let's put it that way. They kind of take, his predatory nature to the extreme, and he actually freezes Dracula solid. He knows he can't kill him, but he freezes him solid, and he actually kicks off a part of his body that he won't be able to use anymore, which is kind of a appropriate punishment. Jakita Wagner is like the muscle of the group. She's like your proto-superhuman, so she's got super strength and vulnerability. She's the one that really just goes down and dirty and can, just go toe-to-toe with just about anybody that they come across in this story. Her subplot's really, really exciting. You find out more about her and her own personal restlessness, but my favorite version or part of the story of her is when she goes toe-to-toe with Adam West's Batman. Yes, Adam West Batman is in Planetary, and let's just say he has a special spray in his tool belt to take Jakita Wagner out. And then the group is rounded out by the drummer. He's kind of your comedic entry point. He's his ability is to control, read, and manipulate information like actual data, not just computers. He's the conspiracy junkie. He's the cynicist of the group, and he definitely adds a lot of humor and lightness to the story. And again, he has a great subplot too, where his abilities are not necessarily under his control, and this story helps guide his way to learning self-control. And definitely read it. You'll enjoy it. But yeah, this story is filled with a ton of humor, a ton of conspiracy, a ton of action. There's a huge climax at the end. It's a complete story. It's not ongoing. Everything's all done, so you can pick up the books and read one complete story. If you like movies and you like pop culture and you like comics, or you like sci-fi or horror or any different types of genres, I mean, Tarzan's in the story. It's great. So, definitely check it out. I totally recommend. I would love to hear if you're a fan of Planetary. Let me know what your favorite parts are down below. Or if you're going to read it for the first time, come back to the story and let me know how you felt about it. All right, everybody, nerds, go enjoy it.